Hi kids. So once again you are back at your own favorite learning platform, Learn Forward, and I'm here with your maths book, Maths Concepts and Skills for grade 3 by Feather Caps. I'm sure you are enjoying your maths sessions with Minnie. So your maths buddy is once again back, and today we are going to start chapter 7, Geometry. What do you learn in geometry? Do you remember? Yes, you have learnt about different shapes. So, let's see what do we have here. Here's a get up exercise for you. Connect and color the shapes sequentially according to the order given. So, do you see here? An order is given. You have to color them in the same order. So, if you have this red, this is a square. You have colored it red. Now the next shape you have to color is this. That is half a circle. So here it is and you are going to color it blue. What's the next shape you have to color? This is just below and you have to color it red. So your next shape will be this. Next is a polygon again, which you have to color in blue. So where is it? Just at the center. This is how you will be completing this, and color it carefully and neatly, children, right? Now below it we have an instruction. Find out how many sides and corners the following shapes have. What are sides? What are corners? Do you remember? Let's count here. How many sides are there in this? 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are 4 sides, right? And how many corners are there, children? And how many corners are there? These are called corners, the points where the sides meet. So how many corners are there? 4, yes. So your sides are also 4 and your corners are also 4. What do you see in this? How many sides do you see? There is just one. You will see this, right? This is a plain line and then this is a curved side. So you have 2 sides here again. And how many corners? This and this. So you have 2 corners here, right? Coming to next, how many sides do you see here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 sides here. Sides is equal to 10. And how many corners do you see here, children? Yes, there are 5 corners. So for triangle, exactly 3 sides and 3 corners, right? So have fun doing this activity. Color it neatly. Now, talking about shapes, we have different shapes. You have learnt about plane shapes. You have learnt about some solid shapes also. So here we'll be learning about plane shapes. So what is the plane shape? It is a shape which has got 2 dimensions and it can be drawn on a flat surface. So it has length and breadth only. There is no thickness. It has no height. This is called a flat shape, and these are also called 2-dimensional shapes because here we have 2 dimensions only, the length and the breadth or the width. So let's study about them. What do we see here? This is a plane shape. And what do you see here? This is a corner we have just learned while recalling the exercise. This is a side, children. So the vertices, the corners, when they are joined, you get a side. When the opposite corners are connected, this is called a diagonal. What is it called? Diagonal. When the side by side corners next to each other, they are joined, you get a side. But when opposite corners are joined, that line segment gives you the diagonal. Remember this. So 3 terms here now. You have the corners, you have the sides, and you have the diagonals. Perfect. So here are some basic flat shapes for you. This is a rectangle, you have already learned. This is a square. This is a triangle. Here you have a circle, and this is an oval. So when we talk about the number of corners, number of sides, and number of diagonals here, let's count. A rectangle has 4 corners, it has got 4 sides where the opposite sides are equal, and it has got how many diagonals? Let us draw and see. One diagonal, and this is the other diagonal. So here you have 2 diagonals. Coming to square, here also you have 4 corners, 4 sides, but all 4 sides are equal. And just like in rectangle, here also you can draw 2 diagonals. So number of diagonals is 2. When you talk about a triangle, you have 3 corners here, you have 3 sides here, children. But talking about the diagonals, just see, can we draw diagonal here? This is one corner, this is another. So they are side by side. If you will join them, what will you get? You will get a side. So this is not a diagonal. Again, this is one corner, this is another corner. Now these 2 corners are also side by side next to each other. So if you join them, what will you get? Again a side. Okay, now let's talk about these 2 corners. These are also side by side next to each other. No corners are opposite to each other. So here again, when you join them, what do you get? Side again, yes. So there are no opposite corners, and hence there is a 0 diagonal in the triangle because there are no opposite corners to be joined. So in triangle, there are 0 diagonals, and after 3 sides, you have 4 sides in rectangle and square where you start directly with 2 diagonals. Now coming to circle, it has no side because what is side, children? Side is a straight line. So do you see any straight line here? No. There is no corner also. There is no side also. And when you talk of diagonals, it is also 0. No sides, no corners. How can we talk about diagonals in such shapes? Same happens in oval. There is no corner, no side, and even no diagonals, right? So this is what you have to remember about these basic plane shapes. Now here's an exercise for you. You have to identify the shape. Who am I? So let me describe myself. All my sides are equal. So who am I? Perfect, children. Yes, I am a square. Next, I look like a mountain. So which shape looks like a mountain? Yes, brilliant. That is a triangle. So I am a triangle. Next is my opposite sides are equal. Oh yes, I am a rectangle. Next, I am round. So who am I again? Exactly, I am a circle. Now complete the table given below. Shapes are given here. You have to tell the number of sides and the number of corners. We have just done these in the table before. So I'm sure you can do this yourself. Fill up the table correctly and carefully. Now coming to next, fill in the blanks. The length of the boundary of a circle, what is it called? That is called a perimeter, children. That is called its circumference. So boundary of any shape is called perimeter, but there is a special name for the boundary of circle, that is called its circumference. Okay. Next, the fixed distance between the center and any point on the circle, what is it called? So if you have a circle, this is the center of the circle. From the center, if you draw a line segment, this fixed distance, what is it called? It is called a radius. It is called the radius of the circle. A circle is made up of dash lines. What is circle made up of? It is made up of 0 lines. It is made up of no lines. Next, the point at which 2 sides meet, what is that called? That is called a corner. Now, here is a HOTS for you, which you have to think and find out the answer. They say when two squares of the same length are joined together, so they are put side by side, what shape do you get? Can you just draw two squares of the same size side by side? This is one square, this is another square. So now when you put them side by side, you have to tell what is this new shape that you get. Identify yourself and write down the answer. Now let's connect. This is an example of whirly art. Can you see this? So this is made up of triangles and lines. They are made up of different shapes here. So you get triangle, circle, lines like this. This is whirly art and it is a tribal form of art. Now, these paintings use a set of basic geometrical shapes, like they are using circle for the face. Sometimes they are using oval also for the face. They are using triangle to show different body parts and a square also. And then they are using lines also to show hands and arms and legs. So this is really very interesting. You can just try making them. And you know where it originated? For your information, for your knowledge gaining, this whirly art, it originated in Maharashtra. Right? Interesting to know. So you can just try for making different figures using whirly art. Now, solid shapes. What are solid shapes? Something that you can hold like this. That is called a solid shape. And why can you hold this? You know what? It has got length, breadth, but then it has got some thickness also that makes it possible to hold such shapes. That is why they are called solid shapes and they have got 3 dimensions. Like in your plane shapes, there were only 2 dimensions, length and breadth. Now here you have 3 dimensions, length, breadth and thickness, that is called the height. So these are 3-dimensional shapes. We also say these are solid shapes or 3D shapes, right? So we have some common 3D shapes here. This is a cube. A cube looks like this. How many vertices, faces, edges are there? Vertices are the corners, edges are the sides, and faces, just like you have the face, these solid shapes also have different faces. So when we talk about a cube, what is the number of faces and what is the shape of face? Let's count. So this is 1, this is 2, this hole is 3, on the side you have 1, 4, at the bottom you have 1, that is 5, and at the back you have 1, that is 6. So it has got 6 faces, and can you see all the faces are squares in shape. They are identical squares. Now, how many edges are there? So how many sides are there? Let us make this counting easier. You have a square at the top. So how many sides? 4. You have a square at the bottom also. How many more sides? 4. So 4 plus 4 is 8. Now, when you are just stacking them, so you have to give them some support from the sides also. So what do? This corner and this corner. To join them, to give them some height, some thickness, you need one more side. Similarly, at the other vertices, at the other corners, you need standing lines to give them support, to make them thick, to give them the height. So 4 plus 4 was 8. Now we have 4 standing lines also, vertical lines also. So in all, how many sides do you have? 12 sides. Yes. And then the number of vertices, 4 at the top, 4 at the bottom. There are 8 corners. So you have 8 vertices here. Now the next shape is cuboid, which is almost the same in everything, all the counting, except the shape, the faces. What is that? In your cube, you have all the square faces, identical squares. But in case of cuboid, you have rectangular faces. So the opposite faces are same. Like here, this and the one at the back. These 2 rectangles are same. Similarly, the top and bottom are same. And similarly, the right and left faces on the sides are same. So how many faces again? 6 faces. They are all rectangle. And then you have 12 sides also as we counted for cube. And if you look at this, what does it look like? It looks like a brick. Ice cream brick. Oh, okay. So that looks like your pencil box also, isn't it? Like your book also. So you can just see how many faces are there and what type of faces are there and identify them. Now looking at this, what is it? It is a sphere and it is a solid shape that is curved. That looks like a ball. Yes. So number of faces. How many faces do you see here? It's just one face and it is a curved face, children. Now there is no side here in these shapes, in the spheres, and because there are no sides, no point of vertices or corners. Coming to next is a cone, in which you have this as the vertex at the top. Then there is just try to recall the cap you wear, the clown's cap or your birthday cap that looks like this. So you have a vertex at the top, then you have a curved surface on the sides, and then you have a flat surface at the bottom. So this round circle is the curved edge here. Okay, so it has two shapes, two faces. One face is a curved face, the other one is a flat face at the bottom. And when you talk about vertices, there is only one vertex at the top. When you talk about edges, there is only one curved edge here. Okay, coming to next is a cylinder, which looks like your water bottle, your pencil, your juice can. So what do you see here? Top and bottom are flat surfaces. And what is the shape there? Yes, they are circles. So you have top and bottom, two flat surfaces. And what about the side? It is a curved surface. So two flat and one curved surface. What about the edges? There are two edges, one at the top, one at the bottom, and both are curved edges. And when you talk about vertex, do you see any vertex here? No, because no edges are meeting. So there is no vertex, right? So this was all about the solid shapes. Now here we have an exercise. Fill in the blanks. The three dimensions in a solid shape are known as dash, dash and dash. What are they called? In a solid shape they are, yes, length, breadth. You also call it width. You can use any word here. And height or thickness, you can say. Next, the point at which two edges meet. What is that called? Where two edges meet? That is called a vertex. Now we have learned. It is also called a corner, but the term is actually vertex. The line at which the faces meet. What is that called? Yes, that is a side, but now we have learned it is called an edge. Next, a cuboid has how many faces? 6 faces. How many edges? Exactly, 12 edges. And how many vertices, children? There are 8 vertices. Good. 4 at the top, 4 at the bottom. Now again you have a table to complete where names of the solid shapes are given. You have to tell how many faces, how many edges and how many vertices. Easy for you to do? Are you sure? Okay, so this is for you to complete. Now think more. We are surrounded by solid shapes like books, desktop, monitor, eraser, pencil. Do you see all of these around you? Yes. You have to collect some of the solid objects from your surroundings and then identify the objects that have corners and edges. So do you think this ball has corners and edges? No. So you just have to identify the objects around you. Make a table to note your observation, the number of edges and corners in each object. So to make it more attractive, to make it more beautiful, write down the name. Draw the picture also of that object, color it nicely, and then you can name that object. What is the name? Then write down the shape also that you have identified, the basic geometrical shape. So first you write down dice, then you make the dice, make it colorful. Then you write what is the shape you have identified. It looks like a cube, and you have to tell how many edges and corners does it have. So we will make one column for edges, one column for corners. So how do you make it? Write down here, object, then draw the shape here, then here you will identify what shape it is, and after that you will write number of edges, and last column is number of vertices. This is how you can make your own table, right? Let's move to the next now. Yes, here we have the basic shapes. What are these? Point, line, line segment, and ray. Just like for making a house, the basic thing we need is a brick. So similarly, for doing any geometry work, we need these. The basic thing, the basic unit is point. So we start with point. What is point? Point is just an exact position or location which you can draw by the tip of a sharpened pencil, not even a blunt. So this dot is called a point. And how do you name it, children? You have to use any capital letter for it. You can use any capital letter. So this is how you give a name to a point. Now, next is line. What is line? This is when so many points join together, and this line, they extend infinitely. So if you want to just identify, mark the points here, you can put many points, and even between them we can put points. So this is a line which has got no fixed length. Can you see at the end of these there are two arrows? And how does an arrow go? It goes endlessly. So that means this line can go endlessly in both the directions. It has got no fixed length. Now the next is line segment. Segment means part of something, and here they are saying line segment. That means it is a part of a line. It has got a fixed length and it has got two fixed points also. So if you get 2 points, you join them, you get a line segment, and it has got a length, fixed length. Now just like I said, point A, this identifies what is the point. Similarly, when you have AB as the line, you write it as A, B, and over it you draw like this. And when you talk about line segment, you write MN and just draw line segment over it. So if you do not put arrows, it means it is a line segment. If you put arrows on both the sides, it means it is a line. Next is ray. Now what is ray? Ray starts from a fixed point, just like sun rays. From where do the sun rays start? They start from the sun and down to the earth, even deep into the water bodies they go. So there is no end point of rays. Like this, we have the rays. It has a starting point, but it has no ending point. So no ending point means we will draw an arrow. Yes. So this point A shows it is fixed. This is the starting point, and arrow on this side shows that it goes endlessly. So even ray has no length, no fixed length, but it has at least one fixed starting point which is not there in a line. Okay. And how do you write this? If you have to write this, AB. Now because the starting point is A, so we will write A and we will draw an arrow over it like this. This will show that AB is a ray starting from point A. And if I write like this BA, it means BA is a ray which starts from point B. So it will be like this. This is B and here it will be A. So always remember that you have to write the name of the ray very carefully, mentioning the fixed point, starting point first, right? Coming to now the exercise, fill in the blanks. A dash is an exact position or location on a plane surface. What is that? Yes, that is a point. A portion of line which has two end points is called a line segment. The following diagram is represented as ray Can you name this ray now? Yes, it is AB, not BA. So we will write AB. We can draw this here, which shows the starting point is A. Next, a ray is a part of a line. Yes, even line segment is a part of a line, but it has got two fixed points. Now, take a square dot grid sheet like this and draw a line segment. You have to draw a curved line also, slanted diagonal lines using different colored sketch pens. So, take colors of different, take sketch pens of different colors and draw all these lines. And how will we know what you have drawn? Just remember where to put a point and where to put the arrows. Okay, so be careful about them. Now next is a very interesting thing, that is tangram. Have you ever heard about them? Some smiles I can see here. Okay, let me tell you what is a tangram. Tangram is, they are created by using 7 different shapes. You can see here we have examples for you. Camel. This is fish. So you can just identify seeing them. This looks like a bear and this is a sailboat. So what do you see here? All these shapes, figures, they are made using some geometrical shapes, and when you count them, they will be 7. And each piece here is called, each shape here is called a tan. So these are all tangrams, and you know where they originated? They originated in China. So these tangrams, these are intellectual puzzles that were created in China initially, and they are like, children love to do them. People around love to do them. So you can take these shapes and try to make different tangrams. Now next interesting pattern is of tessellations. What are tessellations? Nowadays you would have seen roads that are made by interlocking tiles. Have you seen them? You must be having them in your societies also, isn't it? So what are those? Those are tessellations, children. Tessellations are, they are the patterns which are made by using some geometrical shapes, but they should be interlocking. How? There should be no space between them and the shapes should not overlap also. Okay, so this is how we make tessellations. When you look at these are all triangles. They are just interlocked. And if I just put my triangles one after the other like this, are they interlocked? No. So what did I do? I just put the triangles inverted here also. So I filled the gap here. That is how I got the tessellation. So only when they are interlocked with no space left in between and they are not even overlapping. If I just put them like this, these are overlapping. If I put them like these, there is gap between them. Can you see? So these are not tessellations. So what you have to remember is no gaps and no overlappings when you are using the geometrical shapes while making tessellations. So look at this. Nothing. So this is a tessellation, no gaps, no overlappings. Same is here, no gaps, no overlappings. So you can fill this with another tile here, right? This is not a gap, children. Now when you look at this, all circles are put one after the other. Do you see gaps here? Yes, this is the gap. Here you have the gap. Here you have the gap. So this is not a tessellation. An interesting fun exercise for you with the tangrams and tessellations. Look at the tangram shapes and identify the objects shown in each. So can you identify the first one? Yes, that is your plane. Do identify the other ones yourselves. And here you have to continue coloring in the way shown and complete the tile design in the first picture. So for the first, they have already given you the pattern how you have to do. Use 2 colors, orange, green, then orange, green, orange, green. Now this is what they want you to complete the pattern like. And make your own tile design in the next picture. You can use as many colors you want. Repetition should be remembered, pattern should be remembered when you just draw the color the next picture. So be creative and make your own tessellation in the next picture. It's time for a quick glance at the chapter. What we have learned in today's session: 2-dimensional shapes like square, rectangle, circle, triangle, they are called flat shapes because they have only two dimensions and they can be drawn only on flat surfaces. A flat shape has corners, sides, and it has diagonals also, except circle, children. Remember that. Three-dimensional shapes such as cube, cuboid, sphere, cone, and cylinder, they are called solid shapes. They have three dimensions: length, width, and more importantly, height, which gives it some thickness. Next, a solid shape has faces, edges, and vertices. So, for my Olympia champions, we have competency based questions here. Which of the following shapes is missing in the given figure? So, do you have triangle here? Yes. Do you have a square? Yes. A rectangle? Yes. What about circle? No. So, that one is missing. So, this is your answer. So, the next question is, name the shape of the shaded face. What is this shaded face like? This is like, is it a square, a pentagon, a circle, or a triangle? That is a square out of these. If it got stretched, that doesn't look like square. So look carefully into your books. Does it look like a square? Next, which of the following is a 3D shape? That is exactly, this is not a triangle. You can see the curve here. It means we are representing the cone here, which is a 3D shape. Coming to next, we have miscellaneous exercise. Tick the correct option. Which of the following is a flat shape? Can you identify? Yes, that is a triangle. Next, which of the following shapes has no sides, no vertices? That is a sphere. Exactly. Coming to next, how many curved edges does a cylinder have? That's two. Perfect. Which of these has two end points? What is it? Line segment. Yes, we have it right here. Which of the following is true for a tessellating pattern? It does not have gaps. Correct. It can have overlaps. No. It does not have overlaps. That is also correct. Both A and C. Yes, that is the perfect answer because A and C both are the conditions for tessellations. Now, subjective type questions for you. How many triangles are there in the given image? So, just count them. Next, identify the solid shape and write the number of faces, edges, and vertices it has. Shape with just one vertex. So, this picture is for your question number 1. And for the second, you have to identify the shape by the features that are given here. Shape with just one vertex. What is that called? It's called a cone. Yes. And shape which has all 6 faces as squares, that is called a cube. Perfect, children. So, this picture is for you to count the number of triangles here. Complete the given figures to create a square. Now, find out which among the following is the biggest and you have to justify your answer. So, you will just complete these patterns by making small squares here so that you get the square here, right? So, if you need to add more of the rows or columns to create square, do them and find out which of these is the biggest square, children. So, this is for you to do it. Now, take a cupboard and create a square whose side measures 16 centimeter. So, this is 16 centimeter. Draw lines as shown here. So, you have to divide them into small squares and draw the lines diagonally also. With the help of elders, cut along the lines and make your own tangram set. So, you know what you will get? You will get 7 pieces here. So, with that, you can have fun making different figures. Will you like to do? Yes, very good. That's cheerful smiles and shout. Now, let's connect. Take a picture of Taj Mahal, your notebook. You have to paste it. Identify all the different shapes used in the monument. And can you name a similar monument located in our country? So, you have to explore this yourself and read out the picture of Taj Mahal for looking at the shapes. Now, here's a maths lab activity for you to do it with your subject teacher and your friends and have lots of fun with different shapes. I hope you enjoyed this session on Geometry with Mini. We'll be coming up with more interesting sessions for you. Till then, happy learning, children.